Wise Women's Wednesdays. Hello, hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Wherever you are in the world. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. There we go. Here comes a few people. You know, it's funny. We have just, our audience has really gone down because of the holidays. But that does not discourage me one iota, you know? We're still in this together, aren't we? At least I like to think so. Come on in. The water is fine. It's Wise Women's Wednesdays. This is one of my favorite days because I like to talk about things that makes us wise, that makes us wonderful, and that gives us an opportunity to jump off where we are and to do better. Because it's never, ever, ever about being perfect. It's always about being excellent, though. Come on in, you guys. Boy, low stragglers. Okay, I'm going to wait another minute, and then I'm just going to go for it, and it might be a small show today. Okay, we have a week before Christmas. Christmas is a week from today. Come on, you guys. Wow, I cannot even believe this. We hardly have anyone in here. Okay. Well, and nobody has said hello. I'm feeling lonely. Where is everyone today? There we go. Here comes Lucy. Here comes everybody, hopefully. Oh my goodness. Hi, there's Kim from high school. And there's Joanne. Good job, Joanne. She's getting ready to go to the organic market. I love it. So I am getting ready to, I'm having Marla's husband, Robert, over for dinner tonight. We are having salmon, and I have an avocado salsa that goes on top and some roasted Brussels sprouts. So I'm excited about tonight's dinner. I'm already hungry for it. So we have a quote. We always start every single time we have, every week, I change the quotes out. And this week I have a quote from Helen Keller, well-admired woman, and just real, let's go with this. She broke some barriers, both for disabled people and for women. This is before women even had the vote. And here's what she has to say. The most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. I just love it. They must be felt with the heart. When we can expand our hearts, we can expand the vision for our lives, can't we? When we can see things and hear things, and Helen Keller certainly didn't have that opportunity, but she felt with our heart. You know what that does? That opens our hearts. It allows us to become more empathetic and more warm and more welcoming. And that is, to me, is the definition of hospitality. It's not being all Martha Stewart-y and having everything, you know, all your ducks in a row and, you know, putting out a beautiful table. Hospitality is welcoming people in and giving them a warm feeling in return and letting them know you are important to me. I am so glad you are in my life. I am so glad that you are a part of my life. This is how we have the opportunity to grow. And we can't do that subconsciously. That has to be brought to the forefront, and it has to be a conscious thing. So think about that, you know, and especially in today's times where it is just, we are a divided country in the United States. I know they've got some stuff going on in other parts of the world too, but you know, I live here, so I can remark about it. And you know, I look at that and I think, how sad is all of this stuff and everything. I mean, history is happening right now, even as we speak. But I just want you to know, you know, Marla and I are like on polar ends of the spectrum as far as politics are concerned, and we love each other. We are best friends. What does that say? That says that we have to transcend that stuff. We have to have empathy and love for each other. We have to expand the borders of our hearts. We have to love each other, not based on politics or religion or how you eat, but based on the fact that this is a human being who you love, who has the characteristics of generosity and love and all the things that you admire. I admire Marla Silly, and I admire her for so many different reasons. We don't discuss politics. We leave it alone. And you know what? Good for us, right? Isn't that the way it should be? Shouldn't we love each other that much? I say that because I'm just very disturbed with everything that's going on in the world, and I've tried to keep it all away. But I have to look at, what does today hold for me? What does today hold for me as a human being to another human being? How can I be more to that person? How can I be, like Lucy says, tolerant and loving? You can always be tolerant and loving. Always be tolerant and loving. End of story. End of sermon for that one. This Friday, as usual, is Q&A. And people are sending in some great questions. I've already got a whole load of great questions. But if you want yours answered, go to support@savinggdinner.com. In the subject line of that email, you want to write question for Leanne on Friday. And it will be answered. How do you like that? I love answering your questions, and I love reading them. You know, you guys think of stuff that I wouldn't have even thought about. So, you know, it's funny because it's forced through the trees sometimes as a nutritionist. Listen, I've been a nutritionist since 1993. You know, so I've been doing this for a few years, you might say. And I thought I've seen it all until I started opening up for Q&As. And now I'm seeing really good questions that help you to get into the flow of what it is that you're trying to accomplish in your life. Because I have one big secret for you about this whole thing. There is no diet. There is no way of eating. There is nothing out there that's going to work 100% for you right off the rack, so to speak. It's like a suit. You know, a man never buys a suit off the rack. Have you noticed that? He gets a suit that's roughly the same size as what he is, and then the tailor comes in. And he measures, and he puts chalk, and he puts pins, and the sleeves come up, and lets the shoulders out a little bit here, tucks it in a little bit at the waist, the pants, everything. Everything gets customized for that person who's going to wear that suit. There is just no off-the-rack suits like that for men. They just don't buy a suit off the rack, take it, and take it home. It has to be tailored so it fits. This is exactly what we do. There are certain things that we hold true to because, you know, just like a suit has a jacket and a coat, or a jacket and a pair of pants, same here. We have certain principles that we work in, but then if it's not customized to fit your needs and personalized to fit how it is that you eat and how it is that you perceive the world even, it's not going to work. And haven't we proven that? How many times have you been on a diet? Just, you know, throw some thumbs up. If you've been on a diet, let me know. Is it your first time? First time on a diet? I will say I have been on a few. And I have gained and lost 100 pounds. I will say just one time. That was enough. But up and down, I know about that. It is the carousel of crazy, y'all. It is the carousel of crazy. And we play these games with ourselves, these head games, that I want to say this is something that wise women don't do. And you know what? Let me just put it to you this way. We as wise women have moments where we forget that we're wise women, don't we? We forget. And we want to play as close to the line as we can. And we want to toe up to there. We want to get right to that cliff. And we want to look down and we want to see, how close to that cliff can I get before I fall off? You know, and that hasn't worked out well, by the way, for a number of people. You've seen those people. You've seen, you know, like where they'll say, well, he was on his Segway. The guy who made the Segway, you know, just rolled right off a cliff. He got too close to the cliff's edge. That can happen to us, and I don't want that to happen to us. So the carousel of crazy is, you know, for any of you who haven't been around for a while, but the carousel of crazy is an important concept to understand. The carousel of crazy is going around and up and down all the time. You're going up and down on that horse, just like your weight is going up and down. You're going around and going nowhere because you keep doing the same things. We do that. All of us do. I'm not immune. I understand how this works. We all do it. And here's the thing you need to know, that as we do this, we have a choice every step of the way. There is a decision making going on. We decide, is it worth it? Is it something that I want to do? Is this a fire that I want to play with? Am I confident that I can juggle these balls that are on fire and not burn myself? And here's the thing we have to look at with the Carousel of Crazy. It's all concentrated on that one yum moment. Remember the yum moment? Where what we do is we keep looking and looking. We keep looking at this particular food. Let's go with Christmas cookies, okay? Because, I mean, you know, 'tis the season, right? And by the way, this is hot melt mix. It's in our store. Somebody just wrote me a note that said hot melt mix has saved my bacon. So I was delighted to see that. Yeah, it will save you. This keeps you in ketosis, keeps your, you know, electrolytes going, and MCT oil on fire. It's pretty good stuff. And anyway, so the Carousel of Crazy, it starts with the yum moment. The yum moment is an obsession in your head. The yum moment is when you're thinking to yourself, you know what? More than anything, what I want is that Christmas cookie. I want the reindeer one with the little Rudolph red nose, with the little red hot on the nose. And it's got all the little decorative thingies on it and some sprinkles and icing and all of that. I want that cookie. I'm obsessed with that cookie. If I just have one cookie, I'll be fine. I just want the one. I need to have a cookie. It's Christmas after all. Christmas comes one time a year. It's the holidays. And if I have just this one cookie, then everything's going to be fine. And, you know, it's fatty. It has sugar in it. It's got all the carbohydrates a woman could want. And we keep going through it and through it and through it. And we might start here knowing, you know, it's morning. And in that evening, we're going to be making cookies with the kids. And we know that that reindeer cookie cutter is going to come out. And here you are making those cookies with the kids. Press. There's the reindeer. There goes the reindeer onto the cookie sheet. And then it's cooled. And it's sitting there just with nothing on it. Doesn't it look good? Don't you want it? Yeah, maybe I'll have, oh, well, that one broke. Well, I'll just have that bite. That doesn't count. But I want the cookie that's decorated. And then you decorate all the cookies. And all the cookies are decorated, and you put the little red nose on Rudolph, and you pipe out the icing. I mean, you've gotten good at this over the years. You know, it's not just, you know, wham bam whatever. It's not roll out, you know, the cookies from Pillsbury or anything. You're like doing the whole thing, and you've waited all day. You made the dough, you refrigerated it, you rolled it out, you baked it all with the kids, you trashed the kitchen. You earned that cookie. You earned those carbs that you've been thinking about all day long. And then you eat the cookie. That was pretty good. Then you eat the snowflake. And then you eat the snowman. And then you eat the Santa. And then you eat a bunch of other cookies to the point where you can't even taste them anymore. And you're kind of gagging. But you ate them anyway. And then you had a glass of milk with the kids and had some more cookies. You know who I'm talking about right now, don't you? It's me. I've done this. I'm giving you back a memory. I'm retracing my steps because I've done this. And I will tell you exactly what happens. Then I feel regret. Because with that regret comes the way that I feel. And the way that I feel is like absolute crap. And that's just 10 minutes, 15 minutes after eating them, after obsessing all over them and wishing and wanting them. And then a little more time comes by and I feel even worse. I feel even worse and it's time to go to bed. So you go to bed and you sleep terribly and you get up the next day and you look like you've been in a fight. You know, face is swollen. You've got a carb hangover like nobody's business. There's a lot of remorse. It's showing up on the scale. And you feel like crap. You feel like you've been out drinking all night. And this is the thing that we have to look at is that we do this and then with all those bad feelings that come, then we rationalize it. Well, it was just that once. And then we dismiss it. Well, you know, it was the holidays. And then conveniently we forget about it. Or if we decide that we're going to be accountable with somebody, they'll say, don't beat yourself up. And you'll say, you're right. And here's the thing that we have to look at. The truth of those consequences are, you've just inflamed your body. You've shut your liver down so that nothing's going to really happen for a little while until it gets over the glycogen overload. So you shot your insulin up, your blood sugar's gone up as a consequence. You gained some weight. You feel terrible. You've got pain in your body from all of that inflammation. And maybe you've broken out. You've got some zits or whatever. And here's the thing I want to say. Nobody needs to beat themselves up over this, and nobody needs to put you down over this. But if you're not going to come to the place of understanding that there's a consequence for this and that you pay the price every single time, and you're not going to learn from it, you're going to stay on the carousel of crazy. The only way to get off the carousel of crazy is to come to terms with what the truth is. And the truth is that those are the consequences. They are. There is a bodily consequence. And it's not just that your jeans don't button up like they used to the day before. It's not. Your body is in full-on rebellion. Your body is saying, you did it again. You're hurting me. You hurt me. Would you do this to your child? Would you take your child and deliberately put their hand on a hot stove? No, you would not. That's abuse. And yet, this is how we abuse ourselves. With all the rationalizations and dismissals, we have a list of things that we can do to dismiss ourselves. We have a list. If we treated ourselves the way we would treat our own children, or grandchildren for that matter, in the same loving way, even when they do wrong, when they do wrong, we don't beat them. When they do wrong, we correct them. It's time to correct yourself. And we can do this. We can do this when we take a look at what the heck is going on. There is no reason why that experience cannot be a lesson learned. We don't have to keep repeating history. And when we repeat history, we are wounding ourselves. Do you understand that? You are wounding yourself with your body. You are wounding yourself in your psyche and your soul. Because then we replay back all the mistakes that we made or the errors that we made. We either do this. We either dismiss it too lightly or we beat ourselves up incessantly. And what I want to say is let's just take the emotion out of it and also take the dismissal out of it and go back to the whole thing and say, where is my lesson here? I am ready, willing, and able to learn that lesson. And here's the thing. There are 3 things. They all start with C. Write them down. It's commitment, it's conscience, and it is consistency, right? I think commitment and consistent go together. Because if you are committed, you are consistent. If you're consistent, you're committed. And those 2 things go hand in hand. For you who are married, you made vows. That's a commitment. Would you cheat on your spouse? Just for a minute? And just rationalize, well, it was the holidays, just a little kiss under the mistletoe. Would that work with your husband? Would it? I don't think so. It doesn't work with your body either. It doesn't work with your body when you are in a fight for your life and for your health and for your waistline. You can't afford to do just this once, because just this once is an excuse to opening up the gateway to the path to hell. Yeah, I said it, hell. Because that's where it goes, right? That's where it goes. We just slide and it can't stop. And if that's you and you know that about yourself, then don't do it. Don't even do the first one. Leave the room. Have somebody else come over and help make the cookies. Make yourself a deal, and do something. But just fix it and change it and stop it. Because learning these lessons over and over again is the path to a chronic disease. This is a path. At this age and stage of life, especially ladies, we can't afford this kind of stuff. You can't beat up your blood sugar levels and your pancreas and your kidneys and your liver. We just can't do that. We don't bounce back like we used to. We've done enough abuse to ourselves. We have to take a look at this. Dottie said she lost 5 pounds and an inch last week. Awesome, Dottie. That was from the sprint. Anti-inflammatory approach. Getting off the carousel of crazy. Understanding it anytime. You can unplug that machine and throw it down the hill. Crash it, burn it, kill it. How many times do you want to lose and gain weight? I mean, let me tell you, I am the queen. I know more about this than I think anybody. But there's no glory in being a fat nutritionist, I will tell you. Talk about being out of congruency with your life, out of integrity with your mission. That's no fun way to live. And it's not fun for you either to live in this way. You know what happens? If you lose your way, you're going to be sitting across a desk from a doctor giving you some really bad news. That's all there is to it. You might dodge a bullet. Are you willing to play Russian roulette with your health? Seriously? You're not going to find any good health ever in any kind of fast food place. Hand to God, it doesn't exist. I don't care what they say. If you don't believe me, just Google fast food lettuce and find out what they put in there. Just do that. You won't find it there. So make some food rules for yourself, right? Stop. If you eat in your car, you need to talk to your body clutter buddy about it. Stop it. Do not do that. That's all. You can't do that. Eating in a car is akin to saying yes to fast food, because why else eat in the car? I mean, if you're traveling and going, we're getting ready to do a 12-hour trip, and I'm sure we will eat in the car, but we're not stopping at any fast food place. We will stop at the grocery store, or we'll pack some stuff or whatever, but I'm telling you, there is no way I'm going to eat that garbage. So make that rule for yourself. Don't eat out of bags anymore. Eating out of bags. Who eats out of a bag? Horses eat out of bags. That's, you strap on the feed bag. Horses eat out of bags. Eating out of bags is just incessant snacking. And we've discovered what snacking is, right? Snacking is stupid. Snacking is seriously, all it is mouth entertainment. You're not hungry. If you're hungry, have a meal. Snacking and constantly eating, that's something that cows do. Go watch them. They're in the field. And if they're not, have their face down into the grass chewing away, then they're sitting there and they're chewing their cud. We don't have cuds, people. We don't have cuds. I hope not, anyway. We don't have the rumen either in our stomach. We don't have the, opportunity to chew it up and spit it back up and start chewing it up again. God, I hope not. Wouldn't that be disgusting? This is what happens to us when we don't make good food rules for ourselves. Stop eating out of bags. The only time that would ever be any kind of a thing, like, for example, a good one would be nuts. Taking nuts, putting them in a little Ziploc bag or a little container, even better, a little greener, in a container, counted out. For those of us who have problems with portion control, or overeating, binge eating, whatever, you got to make some really hard, fast rules for yourself. And this is exactly what this is all about, is discovering where your slip-ups are and finding that, taking that experience and turning it into a lesson learned. And you do that by setting up your food rules. And you do that by not doing things unconsciously anymore. You remember that if you were in the workshop, the Take Back Your Life workshop, I talked about this for a while, that 95% of us, according to Dr. Bruce Lipton, fabulous, he's an MD, wrote a great book, and 95% of us live out of our subconscious. And we have Groundhog Day on repeat. We're doing the same thing over and over again every single day. The only thing we're not waking up to, I hope, is I Got You, Babe by Cher. We don't want to be listening to that song, do we? But this is the whole thing, you guys. We have to look at this stuff. We have to look at this. When we look at it, we can change things up. When we can get out of our heads and bring to mind, oh my gosh, I ate that whole bag of chips and I didn't even realize it. I was just, like this. We don't want to do that. As a matter of fact, we don't even want to have chips in the house if you can help it. If it's up to you, make it happen. Clean out that pantry. Make your pantry clean and lean, right? Make those choices so that your pantry is a shining example of what a healthy life looks like. If your pantry is reflecting Little Debbie's and chips and this, that, and the other thing, and a bunch of boxed rice mixes and cans of soup and all of that, just take a look at the ingredients, for heaven's sakes. If that won't shake you up and change your mind, then I don't know what will. There's half the stuff in there. You can't even pronounce the ingredient list. You don't even know whatever. Joanne says emotional eating is hard to control. If you say so, you're right. Because here's the thing, whatever you say, whatever you believe, and tell your brain is going to just fall in line. So you can say emotional eating is hard to control, or you can say emotional eating is something I don't want in my life, or emotional eating, I am done with emotional eating. You have to flip it. If we keep listening to the same tapes and keep saying the same things, we're going to get the same results. Bingo. It happens. Yeah, it can be hard. Yeah, you can live there, but you can also say no, stop. Get off the carousel of crazy. The carousel of crazy says emotional eating is too hard, makes it too hard. The carousel of crazy says I have no control. The carousel of crazy says just this once won't help, won't hurt. The carousel of crazy keeps you going around and up and down, and your weight and your health all depend on you getting off right now. I don't care that it's a week before Christmas. Do you want another week of just inflaming the heck out of your body? Right? Teresa says emotional eating is something I can control. That's right, Teresa. And you know why? Because Teresa is in control of her emotions. Her emotions don't have control of her. And if we can take these things and start making conscious choices always, and stop living in our subconscious and doing Groundhog Day over and over again, and decide that this is the direction that we want to go. And I'm not going to tell you I'm going to tell you right now, first of all, you're not going to do it perfectly, right? But if you can be consistent with your commitment and conscious in the way that you're doing this and make up a few food rules for yourself, you can beat this a little bit at a time. It's a decision-making muscle. We've talked about that. The decision-making muscle, right? When we decide yes or no, because a non-decision is a decision as well. When we decide, I'm not going to do this, and you say it out loud, and you call your body clutter buddy, and you do whatever it is, you get out your journal, and you completely divert. You know, you ever been on a plane that's been diverted? I have. We've been diverted to Dallas, and I'm like, okay, here we go. You know, can't land there. There's a big storm going, so we get diverted to Dallas. Sometimes, to be safe, you need to divert. That's what they did with the plane. They're not going to land in a storm. You understand that, right? You're the same thing. You've got this, and you're on the control panel there. You have it. You're the one that's steering this whole thing. And every time that you make that decision to divert, every single time that you make that decision to divert, you're that much stronger. You're that much stronger. Don't ever get so strong that you get arrogant, because that's how you gain weight back. Truth right here. But I will tell you this. For every single time that you say to yourself, I can't, I won't, it's hard, your brain is going to say to you, okay. Because your brain wants the comfort of knowing that you're in alignment. Your brain wants to know. Remember the Oregon Trail in your head? The Oregon Trail is in your head. And if you want to get off of it, if you want to get off of that complete, that pathway to destruction, you have to create a new path. And every time you do something that's going to flex that decision muscle, that's going to say, I am worth the effort to not go there, because I know what that's going to look like. I know what the truth of those consequences look like. I've lived it 100 times or more. I'm not beating you up. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not telling you that if you don't do this perfectly, you're doomed. I'm telling you the truth. Right now, you have a decision every single time, and you're not doomed to your past choices. You're not. Rewrite some of these things that you think about yourself. Keep a journal, the journal detailed of your victories and your defeats as well. And start practicing the things that you know are going to get you the results that you want. Because the more times you practice the things that you want, the stronger you're going to get. And you can leave the carousel of crazy behind. You can destroy it. You can get off of it. And you can make the decision, never again. You can. You will not do it perfectly, but you can do it excellently. That's the whole thing. That's what wise women do. We do things excellently, to the best of our ability, and then we examine what just happened here when we blow it. Not so that we can, beat ourselves up, but so we can take a lesson from that experience and say, lesson learned. Rubber stamp it. Lesson learned. A+, and an A for effort. That's all. And it is a process, and it's a continual process. And don't allow it to take you down. Don't. Like I've said to you 100 times before too, is take the emotion out of it. Examine it for what it is. And when you can do that, you can get beyond doing the same thing over and over again. You can. This is how we roll, guys. This is how we make a big, huge difference in our lives. This is how we go from just being regular old women on the street to being wise women who show up in their lives consciously with a commitment and a consistency to make a difference. You're not doomed. You never have to stay where you are. As a matter of fact, don't. None of us need to stay where we are. We need to be growing continually. Heart, mind, body, soul. That's how God designed us, which I think is pretty darn cool. I don't know about you. There's a link in here if you're looking for a last minute Christmas gift, or you want the gift of self-care. Maybe you want some of my supplements and you're just saying, just don't want to pay for that. Well, give your husband go to savingdinner.com/gift. Tell him to buy you a gift certificate. We'll get you started. What a great gift. savingdinner.com/gift. Right there. You can put in the denomination of your choice. Make him pay for it. Bring out the credit card, dude. All right, that's it for Wise Women's Wednesday. I think we've had enough. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for Thursday. Well, I don't know, Thirsty Thursday, I guess, whatever. Later on, if you're in the sprint group, I am going to be making some collagen shots, some key lime collagen shots, and showing you how to make them using hot melt, fiber mender, and our unflavored perfect paleo protein. They are delicious, and they are thebomb.com. So on Monday, I did a collagen loading day, and it was fantastic. Yesterday, I took the day off. Today, we have company coming for dinner. Otherwise, I would have been doing that. But tomorrow, it's going to be another collagen loading day. So I got to get my collagen shots ready. And the key lime ones, I'm telling you, they're so good. So if you're in the sprint, just watch for the Facebook Live. It'll probably be later on, about 4 o'clock or so today, Eastern. So thank you so much. I hope this, I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, of course, send them in on Friday to support@savingdinner.com, and in the subject line, just put question for Leanne on Friday, and I will answer it in just a couple of days. Peace. I appreciate it. Take care. Bye.